What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at another film review. Today we're taking a look at the Terrifier 3. This is the third movie in the franchise of Terrifier, and I have finally gotten around to watching it, and I have reviewed the other two Terrifier movies on the channel if you do want to go check those out for yourself. I didn't rate them too highly, I'm going to be honest, and I'm not going to rate this one too highly either, spoiler alert, but to find out why I think you should stay to the end of the video to see my full thoughts and opinions on this movie and this franchise as a whole, and where I think this franchise is going to go in the future. Ooh, exciting thoughts and theorizing as well as a movie review. I am treating you guys well today, but without any further delay, I think we should head over to Google to see what they have to say about Terrifier 3. It came out in 2024, has a runtime of 2 hours and 5 minutes. That's a shock. It is a horror crime. I don't see how it's a crime. I don't see how it's a horror either. It's more of a slasher thriller. It's more of a thriller than anything else. It has a 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb and a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes. After surviving Art the Clown's Halloween massacre, Serena and her brother struggle to rebuild their shattered lives. As the holiday season approaches, they try to embrace the Christmas spirit and leave the horrors of their past behind. However, just when they think they're safe, Art turns determined to turn their holiday cheer into a new nightmare. So how the movie actually starts off is with a basic bloodbath, which tries to set the tone of the movie, tries to set the scale, like most horror movies do. They always start with an opening murder, very similar to the Suicide Squad, starting with an opening murder to set the tone, to set the spirit, to set the threat level, and to set the standard of what this movie is going to be. We have Art the Clown breaking into a family's house, killing the mother, father, son, and daughter, all with an axe, all in one fell swoop, whilst they're screaming and crying in agony. We then cut to 5 years prior, for whatever fucking reason, to see how Art survived getting his head lopped off, because that's where we left off in number 2. Not gonna lie, completely forgot about that, forgot that his head got chopped off. Whoop-de-doo, he's back again. Art the Clown just can't die, and we find out why in this one as well. So we find out that Art the Clown killed a police officer, put the police officer's head on his head, and then walked to the sort of hospital where they were keeping the first victim, which is the girl with half a face. He takes her to an abandoned house and reattaches his own head, which is eating one of the doctors with this girl. This girl's gone psycho and is now Art's new right-hand girlie, because we had a little girl last time, and now we have a girl from the first one. I don't know why she's back, I don't know how she's back, I'm gonna be honest, but she's back. She makes it back for this one. She's gone psycho, she's gone crazy, and she tells herself how beautiful she is looking in the mirror. She then slits her wrists and dies in a bathtub, whilst Art smiles in a rocking chair in the roof of this house. 5 years later, they haven't fucking moved. 2 demolition men come to check the house to make sure no one's living in it, so they feel free to knock it down. They find these two kill them, and then they're off their way. Art then kills a Santa Claus in a bar, and then he kills 2 teenagers as well. But both of those teenagers actually share a room with Serena's brother, who is now in college. And in doing so, he kills the brother as well. And he kills the father, who's coming to pick up the brother to bring him back to the house. Because while all this is happening, Sabrina, don't fucking care, don't fucking know, is having flashbacks of her father, whilst coming out of a mental hospital and seeing visions of her dead friends, covered in blood and gore, whilst trying to live with her auntie and uncle and her cousin. The cousin reads her diary and buys her a sword, which is cool as fuck. And then, the story continues. She sees Art in a mall. He kills the kid by blowing them up. She then shits herself and is like, brother, come home. So the uncle goes to pick him up. They both die. And then Art the Clown enters their home, kills the mother by shoving a tube in her mouth and shoving rats down it, which go into her stomach and eat her from the inside. We then have the brother's head placed on a mantelpiece, the father placed on the wall like Jesus and has his guts hanging out. We then have a thorn crown placed upon Sabrina's head because she is apparently Art's next host, who he wants to be, who he wants to take control of, because her body and will is very powerful apparently. So Art is a demon. Art is a demon, and he tries to get inside Serena's head, but she blocks him out. The little cousin ends up falling into a hell pit. She kills the girl version of Art, like his assistant, his like right-hand girly, and in doing that, that's how the portal to hell opens. And then Art goes off onto a bus and continues to kill, and that's where the movie ends. Gonna be honest, story-wise, it's fucking shit. It's repetitive, it follows the same sort of plot line as the first one, continuing and doubling down on her father being this comic guy who saw the future and was worried for her safety, who saw Art the Clown. She's the special one, she's the chosen one, she's the one who's using the sword, the comic book character. She's the one with all this power that can kill the demons and kill Art, can kill 10 blaster men, and she's now off on an adventure to find her cousin in Terrifier 4. Oh, that's where it's sort of leading towards, because at the end she's like, don't worry Gabby, I'll find you. And Gabby's in hell, so she's gonna go on like a journey to find Art. So instead of Art hunting down Sabrina, Sabrina's gonna be hunting down Art in the next one, which seems very exciting. The only reason I think this is worth anything more than a 4 out of 10 is because of the extremes that this goes through in the deaths and the murders and the prosthetics. The story, like I said, for Terrifier is always weak, but for slasher movies, they're always weak. They always have some demon extraterrestrial sort of spirit level to them, which is why this main villain can't die or why they have supernatural abilities, and Art is no exception. And the way they go about the story is kind of lackluster, kind of boring, and a little bit confusing, and definitely takes a back seat, which is never good. But what takes the front seat is the gruesomeness, the murders, the deaths. They kill people in quite weird ways. They try and choke someone with someone else's intestines. They chainsaw someone in half from their asshole first. They shove a tube in someone's mouth. They slice someone's boobs in half, sideways. What else do they do? They snap someone's neck. They freeze someone with I forgot what it's called. It's the liquid nitrogen. They freeze someone's legs, arms, and face, and then beat the shit out of them, breaking it all apart. And yeah, it's kind of gross, not gonna lie. It didn't put me off my Pringles, gonna be honest. I heard a lot of rumors of people walking out of this because it's too disgusting. People just have weak stomachs, I'm gonna be honest. I watched this pretty fine. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see why people walked out, but I'm gonna commit. Like, I committed to it without any issues. There was some moments where I was like, gross, but I continued to eat the Pringles, and there was some moments where I was like, that's cool as fuck. Because I didn't expect him to push it that far. I didn't expect him to go that far. We saw him cut someone's dick in half and watch their balls go flying. I thought that was fucking hysterical, because watching someone's balls fly across the screen is very, like, immature humor, but it made me laugh. I'm immature. I am childish in humor. Just, I don't care. I thought it was funny, alright? I thought it was funny seeing someone's testicles fly across the screen. Fucking deal with it. I thought it was funny. I don't need to explain myself to you. I don't fucking need to. I think it's great. So, what I say goes. Art the Clown, again, is mute throughout the entire thing. He doesn't talk, and he does use his assistant, his sort of left-hand lady, to talk for him. And she gives us the most lore details, and she was the thing that I struggled to look at the most, I'm gonna be honest. She was the most ugliest fuck and the most gruesome, disgusting thing in this, I'm gonna be honest. Like, her she had no cheeks, and it was literally just her lower skull that was on show. One of her eyes was like weirdly colored. It was like a demon eye the entire time, and I genuinely didn't like it. It was very off-putting and creepy. I didn't care about the eye that she didn't have. That was fine. That had like skin over it. I'm not fussed about that. I'm on about her actual eye, like the red and yellow one. That one was just fucking weird. I didn't like it, but it wasn't anything to put me off the movie, because they wasn't in the movie that long. She was also quite psychotic, and you could tell that she wasn't her own person. You could tell that it was art controlling her, because she wasn't anything like she was before. She had lost her spirit, she'd lost her sort of hopes in the first movie when art, like, completely fucked with her, and, you know, that's just how it is. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think it deserves anything more than a 5, because all it's got going for it is gruesome murder and practical effects. The story's shit, but everything else is decent. The acting on the human side is shit, but the acting on the, like, killer side